Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Unit 9.1, 9.2 review. Let's go ahead and get started. Identify the type of function represented in the graph as well as its domain and range. So remember, there were three types of graphs that we talked about. We talked about exponential, quadratic, and linear. Let's look at number one. What type of graph is number one? Do you guys remember? Well, when it's got that curve to it only on one side, looks like it starts really, really, really high and then whoosh, swoops down. That is an exponential graph. Okay, our domain is our x values. So, and the x values are from left to right. Now, do we see a specific starting or stopping point to our domain? No, and those arrows mean that even though this looks like it's going to go straight up, as it goes up, it's also going to go out. So for the domain, since we don't know where it starts and stops, it is all real numbers. And remember that that symbol, we'll put it up top, this means all real numbers. Okay. Okay, now let's talk about the range. The range is our y values. Okay. Now, there's no specific start or stop, and I can see that it goes up and up and up and up and up and up and up. But as it gets lower, it looks like it keeps getting closer, but it never quite touches -1. Okay? So what that means is y has to be greater. Has to be greater than -1, not equal, but greater to -1. Okay? All right, number two. What type of graph is that? Should know right away. That is a quadratic. All right, once again, the domain is our x. So now it's not like it's gonna stay at, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, and -2. It's not in between those, because once again, those arrows means that it's gonna keep moving on, and it's gonna keep moving on and up. Okay, so our domain, x, is all real numbers. Now our range, I can see something, okay, for the y's. It touches -3, but it never goes below that. And it does go up and up and up and up forever, okay? So that means that y, it can be greater to or equal to -3. It's just not less than that. All right, let's look at number 3. Okay, this is a straight line, which means that it is a linear graph. Okay, our domain, our x, is going to be all real numbers, because from left to right there is no specific start or stop. And then our range is only one thing. It's y equals 2. It's not 3, it's not -4, it doesn't get any other numbers. It's always, always, always 2. Okay, and another way that you could write that would be just y is 2. Okay, number 4, you guys are all on your own. Go ahead and pause the video, and good luck. Okay, there you go. It's an exponential graph. The domain is all real numbers, and our range is that y has to be greater than 0. All right, let's move on. It says evaluate the function for the given domain value. Okay, let's look at the first one. Saying if h of x equals 4 parentheses 1/2 parentheses to the x power, find the value of h of -1. So what this means is we're going to take -1 and we're going to plug it in wherever we see an x. Okay, so we are plugging in -1, and we would plug this in directly into our calculators. Okay, so we would type in 4 times 1/2 raised to the -1st power. Okay, what'd you guys get? I got 8. So our answer, we would say that h of -1 equals 8. Okay, number 6. Now number 6, we're going to do the same thing. You're going to plug in -1 into x. So k of -1 anywhere we see the x is where we're going to plug in -1. So I want you guys to type this into your calculator and tell me what you get. What'd you get? When I plugged it into my calculator, I got -8. Okay, so we just have to be very careful with our negative signs because there's a negative outside, and then -1 squared plus 5 times -1 minus 2. Okay, so we have to be very careful with all of those signs, the pluses, the minuses, and the parentheses. Okay? All right, number 7. Says find the value of f of -4. So that means I have to find where -1, -2, -3, -4 is. What is my x value for that, or my y value? At -4, it equals 0. Okay, and then our next one was at -1, and at -1, we're at, well, what number is that? 1. Okay, so for number 8, I want you guys to do it on your own. Pause the video, and good luck. Okay, and you should have gotten 2 and then -5. Let's flip it over. It says find the range values that accompany the given domain values. So now they're asking us to not plug it in once or twice, but to plug in the domain 3 different times, okay? So you're going to rewrite this 3 times and plug in. So edit, copy, edit, paste. Edit, paste. There we go. Okay, so the first time we do it, we're going to plug in -2, then we're going to plug in -1, and then we're going to plug in 0. Okay. So for f of -2, what did you end up getting? -8 times -2. That's 16, and 16 plus 6 gives us 22. For -1, -8 times -1 is 8, and 8 plus 6 gives us 14. And then the last one, Negative 8 times 0 is 0, and 0 plus 6 is 6. So the way we would write our final answer would be that our range is 6, 14, and 22. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing for number 10. Okay, we've got 3 values to check, the -1, 0, and 1. Okay, sorry about that. So we're going to do the same thing that we did in that last one. 4, and then our x, the exponent up there, is going to change each time. So you guys can try this on your own. Go ahead and pause the video. If you want me to, I'll set these up for you real quick. Okay, we're plugging in a -1, a 0, and then a 1. Go ahead and pause the video, and good luck. Okay, so you should have gotten that the range was 3/4, 3, and 12. So just remember, when you're plugging that one into your calculator, you have 3 times 4 raised to whichever power that you were doing, and that was the middle one. Okay? All right. Last part says to perform the indicated operation for the given functions. Number 11. 11, let's look at we have 3 different functions here. So it's telling us to take g of x, which was blue, I'm sorry, g of x minus h of x. So we put these in, each one in parentheses, so the 3x squared plus 7x minus 11, and we are subtracting that to -8x squared plus 2x. Okay, now to get rid of the parentheses, we distribute, and the first group we're distributing a +1. So when we distribute a +1, everything stays the same. Now in the second equation part, the back part, we have to distribute a -1 because we're subtracting. And when we distribute a -1, the only thing that changes is the symbols in front, okay? So I have a negative times a negative, which turns that 8x squared to a positive, and then a negative times a positive, which makes that 2x a negative. And now we combine like terms, okay? My 3x squared and 8x squared are the same, and we get 11x squared. Then we have 7x minus 2x, which gives us a positive 5x. And then that -11 is all by itself. And there we go. Okay, number 12. Number 12, it's asking us to multiply. And we're going to multiply f of x times g of x. So -2x minus 5 times 3x squared plus 7x minus 11. Now when I do this, I'm going to use the box method just because it helps me stay organized. So I have a binomial times a trinomial, okay? My -2x minus 5 go on the left, and then 3x squared plus 7x minus 11. And then we just start multiplying. -2 times 3 is -6. X times x squared gives us x cubed because we add the exponents. -2x times positive 7x gives me a -14x squared. And -2 times -11 is positive 22x. Okay, second row, -5 times 3 gives me -15, and then we have the x squared. -5 times positive 7 gives us -35x. And the negative 5 times negative 11 gives us positive 55. Okay, and from there, we just combine our like terms. Okay, so we have the squares, and then the 2x and the negative 35x are the same, and that's it. So our final answer will be negative 6x cubed minus 29x squared. Negative 35 plus 22 gives us negative 13x plus 55. Remember, we always want to write our answer in standard form, which means the highest exponent down to the lowest. Okay, number 13. Number 13, we need to multiply that negative 2 times h of x, and the h of x was negative 8x squared plus 2x. And for this, all we have to do is distribute. So we've got negative 2 times negative 8x squared, which gives us positive 16x squared. And negative 2 times positive 2 gives us negative 4x. And that's our answer. Okay, number 14, you guys are all on your own. You have to add f of x and g of x. So go ahead and pause the video, and good luck. Okay, and you should get 3x squared plus 5x minus 16. Okay, and the challenge problem, guys, the challenge problem you can try all on your own. If you think you got it, come in and see Ms. Carranza or myself, or pause the video real quick. There's the answer, okay? But to get the points for it, you gotta show the work, okay? Well, this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra Unit 9.1, 9.2 notes. If you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, thanks for watching.